Okay, you guys are live. Okay, you guys are live. Okay, you guys are live. Okay, you guys are live.
Through my online store alone, we've sold over $500,000 worth of spices. That's so crazy.
I went from selling to my town to selling.
My online store alone, we've sold over $500,000.
Apie enjoying some food. And if I speak, does it come out okay? And if I speak, does it come out okay? Right, well, we'll try speaking in this and just adding a little bit more to it. There you can see Apie down at the bottom. So she's going to practically go around investigating the whole cage, I think. Most of the layout in the enclosure was done through Jason. So the infrastructure was put up by our team here, and then Jason came in and sort of put up all the inner pieces for Jamba and Apie to clamber around on. And we try to get it as much area covered so that they can use the full cage, special little sleeping areas and stuff like this for them as well. And we're going to keep the other cage next door, so they've got this little interleading door that they can go into there. So if we do have to do any major work or cleaning, we can separate them for a while. Apie has been quite a tough old girl to find someone to stay with. Many years ago, when we first got her, she was introduced to two other monkeys, and every morning we'd come out, these other two monkeys were beaten up completely, and we always thought it was the bandits doing it until we actually found out it was Apie. She just couldn't get on with them and just kept beating everybody up. We did try her with another male, um, but also things didn't go well because of her dominant behavior. She actually got beaten up by him, and we eventually had to remove her from that scenario. She was put in with another group of two monkeys and ended up beating them up. So she's quite a character. Jamba seems to be the only one that's sort of kept her under control. He does put her in her place every now and again. So he has seemed to manage, and neither of them have got injured. So it's like a real old couple that just basically tolerate each other. Yeah, we have to sometimes put special thinner or smaller hold wire around the bottom of the cages because when the bandit troop comes around, she sort of attacks them as well. So she's a very strong-minded female, and she gets or does what she wants to do. As I say, she loves being groomed, but you do have to be careful because she has got a very strong hierarchy. So if somebody, a human I'm talking about, a lower ranking human in her eyes is grooming her, and somebody higher ranking comes past, she will attack the person that's grooming her. So people do have to be very careful in those scenarios when people are walking around the area. She does also like almonds, so every now and again we take her up almonds for her to eat, and she does really enjoy them. And Jamba, he doesn't like them so much. You've got to take him a grape or something like that, and he does prefer the grapes. Yeah, sorry, I hope it'll come back now. Josie just put the camera down to come and ask me why nobody can hear her. So I said, well, they can hear me, so she's not very happy with me. Unfortunately, I'm the one that does all the technology side of things, and sometimes things just don't work out the way you plan them. So this is something we'll have to work on, and hopefully in the future we can get it better. It was quite a mission, just trying to get a live feed from where they are. I had to drag over 100 meters of cable, and I've got my spare cell phone working there. So hopefully the stream will start as soon as she picks up the camera and gets it back into the position that she needs. I don't know if my security lock came on and she can't get into my phone, so she just came to see if she could get my password from me. Means I'm going to have to change all of that now. Sorry, she's had to do the 200-meter dash to get back there, so hopefully the feed will come back shortly. It's a little bit difficult thing when things are spread so far apart. There we go. She found the camera. Just got to get it orientated now, of course. But yeah, technology is, although it's great, there are a lot of things we still need to work on to get everything right. So basically, she's trying to get access now to the phone to see if she can unmute it, and then hopefully she can do some of the talking. Well, there's also an interesting thing. I don't know if you actually saw the movement of brushing themselves up on that piece of wood or the branch there. We're not too sure if they actually give off a scent. We sometimes find a lot of females doing this type of thing, sort of like marking a branch. So they rub their chest on it, and some of them have even changed a little bit of color because they get it from the branch itself. But as far as we know, there's no scent glands or anything like that on the monkey, so we're not too sure why they do something like that, whether it's just itchy and we're just thinking up stuff, but some of them just do it every now and again. Well, at the moment, he's actually looking for little insects inside the wood, so that's more what he's doing. But there you see that little bit of a rubbing movement. Maybe it scares the insects out. I'm not too sure. But because these are like new pieces of wood that he's found or that we found around, there's still little nice little insects and grubs and stuff that they do find in them. Monkeys do sweat, but not quite the same as what we do. I haven't seen them like getting sopping wet or anything like that. So, but they do have sweat glands, definitely. But yeah, I haven't seen them even in the heat or anything like this, showing any signs of a lot of perspiration. Normally comes around their face. It's easier to see around their eyes and their nose and stuff like that. You could see a little bit of glistening. Yes, every now and again they do. We had some volunteers very worried about them because they do have arguments, these two. And normally the arguments transpire when somebody starts bringing food around. And then Jamba seems to pick on Apie, which I suppose was a good thing in a way because she was always pinching the nice bits of food. And him being the male in this type of hierarchy, he should be the one choosing who eats what. So he does put her in her place. But yeah, we have seen them up in corners and little spots grooming each other and things like that. Yeah, just back on the sweating thing, I suppose when it comes out into nature, you don't want to give off any kind of smell when you're hiding. But as one of the ways that we pick up if a monkey's a wild monkey or if somebody's had it for a pet for a while, is when the baby or the orphan comes in, we can smell it, and you can actually get a wild smell from them. They just smell, well, completely different if somebody's washed them in perfume or shampoo. So, if somebody says, "Oh, I've just found this monkey," you can actually smell if they've just found the monkey. And the other thing is the feces tells you as well. It will normally be a very black, dark color if they're from the wild. And if they've been in a house for a while, it will be like a sort of a browny color, and it won't be as hard. Well, at least we got Josie there, but so if I do answer any of the questions wrong, maybe she can just fill in. Of course, she doesn't actually know what I'm saying, because I don't think she can hear what I'm saying on that end. Well, this is one of the nice platforms that they can actually walk up right to the front, because remember the front of the enclosure is electrified. So they can't get too close. I've tried to get everyone to build as close as they can so that we can use as much space or much property inside the enclosure, so that they've got a lot more room and a lot more places to walk around. And so they can get pretty close to the fence. They've got this nice area there that they can sit on and get and watch the wild troop. They also do interact with the Goliath monkeys as well. So it's not that they don't have friends. They have got an interaction there. So they can talk and socialize with everybody else. So it's just like being in a nice retirement home, but you don't have to have the kids over. Also, we've got a nice shade netting there on top of the roof. So if it is hot in summer, they've actually got a shady spot that they can still sit underneath, although there's beautiful trees in here, and these are live trees. So what we've tried to do is build it over some actual trees, which are still growing. So when it comes to summer, these trees will actually get all their leaves on and things like this, and it'll pretty much turn into a little jungle inside there, very green and everything. But as you can see, there is certain areas that are protected, so they can get some shade if they do need it, and protected from the wind and rain, of course, which hopefully we get a lot of this summer. There's Jamba just bragging off to one of his neighbors saying, "Hey, what do you think of my new home?" So I think he's fairly impressed. Jumbo also had a femoral head removal on his one leg, although you won't see it because it was damaged very badly. And the vet sorted that out for us. And today you can see he's walking very, very well. He doesn't really seem to have a problem, which is quite amazing. That's the same as who's the little one that Floki's got done to his little leg. So hopefully Floki will mend just as well as what Jumbo did here. Yeah, well, in his case, it's nice to be able to strut because he can't get into trouble from anyone. So he can strut up and down in front of even the alpha male of the troop, and nothing can happen to him. So he's very lucky where that's concerned. Op is always a difficult one because you'll always try and come over to the people if they come close to the cage. But hopefully this is also going to help a bit because she's got like a nice big area to move around in. Of course, they're going to have to try and find what their special and favorite spots are now, because being like a new home, you've got to find out where you like sitting and stuff like that. So that's also going to be interesting. Sometimes one just wonders what they're actually thinking. Like this whole new thing sort of appeared, and you pop out into this whole new area, and there's a whole new place to explore. So sometimes being in a little cage isn't so nice because you've been there for a while and it doesn't change. It's always the same. So to them, this must be quite exciting. It's like a whole new place to explore. Exciting things to find, new little insects you can see from different points and things like this. So, when you manage to complete something like this for them, it's a lot of satisfaction to ourselves and also to Jason, who helped collect the funds for this. Just to, I'm sure if you can get closer to their little faces, you'll see a little smile and think, oh, great, this is fantastic. So, yeah, it's really nice to see these things. And these are the kind of things that get you going when you're working in a place like this. It's just the small little things that you're able to do to make a difference in some of their lives. We know we can't get all of them back out into the troop because of some of the ways they've been treated or brought up. But at least to make them a lot more comfortable, make sure they are going to enjoy the rest of their lives. And, they've got as much space as possible. There's always company or some other monkey to spend time with them, which is important. Yeah, little Gimli is doing so well. It's actually remarkable. You wouldn't say it's the same little monkey. It's really terrific when you see that. It's sometimes it's so heartbreaking when you hear and see what happens to them, or you rescue them from those situations, and you just never know within yourself whether this little guy is going to make it or not. And it gets to that point where you just see the turnaround, and you see the little sparkle come back into their little eye, and you just know that if they've passed that point, there's a chance again. And yeah, they're going out into the enclosure. They've got a mom jumping around in these trees. I just can't explain to you how great you feel inside when something like that happens. And today, when you go around and see little Gimli, you'd never say he went through such a traumatic stage in his life. So this is also the thing people don't realize with Vervet. You can have a look as he's eating whatever he's got there. He's using his side teeth the same as we do as humans. So a lot of the food and stuff like this that they actually get blamed of eating, they can't really really eat it, like butternuts or pumpkins and stuff like this, because when you have a look at the bite mark, it's a front bite mark that's been bitten into the butternut. We as a human or as a primate, we can't actually bite through it. We've got to cut it. So what happens is you get something like either a buck, which bites with its front teeth. We get porcupines and things like this that actually can bite like rats and stuff, can make holes with the front of their teeth, and they sort of gnaw the butternut, and then that makes it possible for the monkey to actually eat it. But then, of course, the monkey gets in trouble for destroying the crop. So, it's just little signs we look for when we go out to look for crop damage, to see how the fruit was actually bitten originally, if it was done with a front bite or a side bite. Because if it's a side bite, then we know it's more likely a monkey's done it. It's like Apie saying, I don't understand what all the fuss is about. Yeah, and after being here for so many years, when I drive around and I actually see the natural bush being destroyed, and I know which troops are living in that area, it's kind of heartbreaking to know that I know they're going to be in trouble soon, because they've lost a lot of their foraging area and it's been cut in half, and nothing's basically been left to them. It's like watching like a whole family's house being destroyed, and their garden and everything, and nobody really seems to care. So, when you look at it from a different perspective, it's got a whole different tale to tell. So it can make it very, very difficult. Yes, if you get the opportunity to see Apie's fingers, you'll see a lot of them don't actually close anymore. She's done so many fights in her life and broken so many little fingers. She can only close 2 fingers on the one hand. The other 3 sort of stay sticking out. So she's been through a tough time. But as I say, she's had a very hard start because she was a pet for many years. And, it gets to a point that they just don't understand the social behavior of other monkeys. She could have been a very higher ranking female, and then, to kind of lose your ranking all of a sudden, especially if you come from a household as well, because being a pet in a house, you've probably got a fairly high ranking due to the amount of people you can pick on and who get scared of you. And then you get into a situation where you're the lowest. It's not that easy to adapt. Oh, well, there's a stark reminder that one's getting old. I especially called it the 28th revamp, so people don't really get my age. So maybe they'll concentrate on the 28th more than the 57, I think it is. So, that's also something we try and I've had a look around the foundation, and it's getting to the point of some of the things are looking a lot older than I am, and I'm going to have to start rebuilding them. So we're just trying to see if we can raise a bit of funds to sort of sort out a couple of things here and there while we can. As you all know, with the lockdown of the world, it's become very difficult to do what you need to do. So hopefully we'll raise a little bit more. We have raised a bit of funds to do our surgery, so we'll be rebuilding our surgery soon, which has almost been destroyed by termites, and it's also one of the essential parts of the foundation. And Now we've got to have a look at some of the enclosures and, of course, our tool shed and things like this, because they stole all our tools previously. So we've got to build something a little bit more secure. As the economy declines and people don't have the kind of finances they need, of course, theft becomes a good answer to what they're doing. So we've just got to up security a little bit. And so if anybody would like to donate on there, you get a chance, please spread the word, get other people involved that can help a bit, and then we can see what we can do from there. Looks like a courier car's just arrived, so excuse me for 2 minutes. That's Apie coming close to the fence asking for a groom. Yeah, we decided on £2,800 to represent the 28 years of the foundation's existence and sort of take the limelight off my age. So hopefully people concentrate more than that than on how old I'm getting. Caitlin, you can still donate via PayPal, paypal.vervet.za.org, or if you like, at the bottom of this screen here, you'll see there's a dollar sign. If you click on the dollar sign there, you can also do a shout out, which also does a donation towards us. Yes, it will all go towards the £2,800. If you do donate it in PayPal, it might be just good to mention Revamp 28. Then we'll know it specifically for that cause. But yeah, so that will help if you can donate via PayPal. I think I did put the address up earlier. But if you have got your own PayPal account, you can just go straight and make it payable to info@vervet.za.org, which is our main email address linked to PayPal. So you can, if you're just going to PayPal, you can just fill in, that's the email address you are contributing towards. Well, it looks like Jamba is the one walking around and exploring all the little edges. Apie is like settled down a little bit and says, well, looks like this is a great place. I'm going to enjoy it, yeah. And probably just looking around to find out the best sleeping place now, the best place to like relax when the sun basically comes out. Well, that's some threatening faces. I don't know who she's staring at, swearing at them, or Jamba swearing at them. So evidently somebody there not in the good books. Yeah, and the tails are basically just really used for balance and for the little ones to swing on and climb on and irritate you. But they do pretty well without their tails as well. So it doesn't seem to be too much of a problem if they do lose them, and they seem to get bitten on their tails quite often. Yes, they do groom each other. Well, guys, I think that's a nice way to end this session. Thanks for sharing this special moment with us. It's been great. Nice to see these two out in a new enclosure. I am busy working on the episode that will be coming out for members on Wednesday. Hopefully I get it finished in time, but for the rest of you on Thursday. And then, of course, we'll have another live broadcast on Saturday morning if the internet and everything holds out. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks for sharing. All you guys there that donate every now and again, it's great. Hopefully now I can use my microphone to do the lives as well, and maybe I can talk instead of typing, which might make it interesting as well for the live shows on the Saturday and Sunday morning. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Be another 2 minutes while I just run up to Jason and tell him we've come to the end, so he can stop filming. See you next time. Thanks, guys.